Welcome to the Building the Cooperative Classroom podcast, the official podcast of the Johnson & Johnson Cooperative Learning Institute. Welcome to the Building the Cooperative Classroom podcast. This is Adam Rubicek. This is week 2 of our interview with Gabe Edgar. He is going to share a little bit about how cooperative learning might be different when he's working with his college students as opposed to the high school students that Derrick and I are used to. We also talk a little bit about the impacts of the pandemic and as students return back to the classroom full-time without masks, how we are seeing different behaviors out of our students that maybe we didn't see prior to it.
So do you ever talk about the whys of what you're doing and like what you're trying to build at all? Or is it more like, and when would you do that, I guess, is the other question too.
Yeah, so this semester, it's been a little bit more in the background. I try to be very careful with my language in terms of how I sort of set up phrasing for certain things, like we're going to do this together. Make sure your partner, before we move on, make sure your partner understands this. And so one thing in the linguistics class that we've only been going for 8 weeks, which is one of the hard things about college is, if you teach high school, you hopefully get a lot of the same students for 9 months. Sometimes if you teach multiple years, you might know them for years and years, or maybe even their whole high school or middle school career. But for college, it's generally 16 weeks and you're done. I've got 2 students that were with me in the fall that came back. Not that they had, they have a wide variety of classes they can choose from. But so, yeah, we're 8 weeks into it now. I
have a tendency to do that in class, and for high school kids, I think it resonates sometimes. Like I talk about how the way that we learn in class is oftentimes not the way that they will have a class when they get to college, unless they're in your class, it is the way that they will learn outside of class. And so I'm just curious if you talk about that at all, these are skills that we're trying to develop.
Yeah, so I do a little bit. So one of my favorite phrases is, especially near the beginning or near the beginning of forming a new group, is we're not going to work with strangers. And so we do things to get to, make that social connection first. I'm very big on them knowing each other's names. I give them a fake quiz at the beginning. They met with their partners, and then I start calling them out saying, tell me about your partner and where are they from? And they realize very quickly, that's important information. But I generally do say, some of your courses and some of your jobs and some of your life situations in the future, you will have someone that says, turn to your neighbor and introduce yourself, or make sure you know people's names. That doesn't let you work with strangers. But you will have a lot of situations also where you don't have that person that doesn't let you work with strangers. So you have to be that person for yourself. And so I'm trying, I do explicitly ask them to think about being the person in that